This year taught me that God has a plan for my life. I feel like this year is one of like the most important years of my life, this particular year, because a lot of things happened that made me self-aware. A lot of things happened that made me self-conscious. A lot of things happened that made me begin to see the purpose or begin to see what God has called me to do here, even though it has not become as clear as I would love it to be. But then I'm in a better place now, because before this year I wasn't exactly really sure of what my purpose was, but this year came with a lot of purpose for me. Hi everyone, if you're just seeing this face of mine, my name is Amanda and I'm a content creator, a plus size vendor, a plus size content creator, YouTuber, whatever it is you decide to call me, here in Lagos, Nigeria. And on today's video, I just feel like I haven't really, giving you guys a live update on this channel before, and then seeing that this year 2021 is coming to an end, there's a lot of reflection going on with me. There's a lot of ticking of goals met and goals I didn't meet. So I just felt like I really needed to give a live update on this channel, considering that I haven't ever given one before, but I haven't ever released one before. So now let's get right into the video. Let me get in the mood because I don't think I'm supposed to be happy. But then this particular video is not just a live update, it's more like a live update plus lessons I learned this year and all of that. So as we all know, or rather as most of us know, those of us that are frequent on this channel know that I just came out of NYSC camp. I'm done with NYSC camp, like not the entire NYSC, but I'm out of camp. Yes, so a lot has been happening. I moved to Lagos recently. That's also part of the updates that I was about to give you guys, although I said it in my last video, but I just want to officially say it now that I moved to Lagos. And then I'm new to the city. I'm still trying to adjust to a lot of things. I don't have so much friends as before because I wasn't living here. And then there's where Lagos is. Lagos is not even somewhere that, because of how far places are from each other, it's even very difficult to even catch up with probably one or two friends that you have in Lagos here. So most of the time I'm always on my own, trying to make friends and all of that, trying to figure out my life generally. I feel like I'm at this point in my life where I need to get more serious about building connection, get more serious about meeting people and all of that, especially because of the fact that I want to go into content creation full time, hopefully by next year. The lesson I learned this year was to talk about the things you want. Talk about the things you want. I permit me to make reference to Davido. We all saw what happened on his birthday, I think that was his birthday or a day before his birthday. He posted that he wanted how many million and then he got it. I'm not saying that you should go on social media to beg for money or do something similar. I'm just saying that if there's something that you actually want, to talk about it, because you don't know how or where you meet somebody that will be able to help you. If there's a job or a company you want to work with, there's nothing wrong with tweeting about it or posting it on LinkedIn or on your story on Instagram and all of that. So this particular year taught me how to talk about the things I want. I know how many things I got just by saying it. In fact, I feel like I should share this story, but there's a particular hospital that I really wanted to work with, a plastic surgery hospital kind of. I was just saying it. I posted it on WhatsApp that I would really like to work with this hospital. And then somebody that knew somebody told me, the owner of this hospital, like what they call them, the chief medical director, what do they call them? Yeah, the CMD, that's chief medical director of this hospital, is the person handling the Instagram page. So I feel like she was telling me that she feels like if I send a message to them on Instagram and tell them, explain myself, send my CV and all of that, I'll get a response. If I get a response, it means that there's hope for me. So I did that. I sent a message to their Instagram handle, and luckily for me, I got a response, and without even going for an interview or anything, I got accepted for the job, So I feel like this particular year taught me how to talk about the things that I actually want, talk about the job I want, talk about whatever it is that you want, voice it out, because you never really know who or where somebody can be able to help you from. So yes, that's my lesson number one. That's like the biggest lesson I learned this year, because a closed mouth is a closed destiny. Keep on talking about the things you want, keep on talking about the things you want to do, keep on talking about the companies or the jobs you want to get, and trust me, eventually, if just imagine there's an opportunity in social company and then a friend of yours or somebody that has a subscriber self or a follower on Instagram that has seen or heard you say, oh, you want to have this or you want to work in this particular company, that person can actually reach out to you and tell you, oh, there's an opening, you like to apply and things like that. But then if you've never shown interest or if you've never posted anything related to that, when opportunities like that come up, nobody will even remember you, or you might not even be in the, you might not come to mind at that point, because you haven't really said anything, you haven't really said that, oh, you were interested in that. I don't know if you get my point, but yeah, that's my number one lesson I learned this year. The second lesson I learned this year was you have to spend time with yourself. You have to, I know that a lot of things are going on in the world. Everybody's so busy trying to make money. Everybody's moving really fast that most times they forget to actually spend time with themselves, to get to know themselves, get to know the kind of persons or people they are, get to know the kind of things they like. Everybody's really super busy that they don't have time to spend time with yourself. But this particular year taught me how to spend time with myself. Because of a lot of things I actually went through this year, I was forced to spend time with myself, and it really helped me a lot, because I got to discover a lot of things about myself that I had no or zero ideas about. So I feel like this year taught me how to spend time with myself, and trust me, like it's a whole different feeling entirely when you actually spend time with yourself, because there's some certain things that you might just overlook. You might never even know that you have. You might never even know that it's there. You might never even know that, oh, this is the kind of person you are. But trust me, when you begin to spend time with yourself, have quiet moments of reflections, not just about your business, or reflections about, oh, what kind of person am I? How the way I reacted today, or the way I behaved today, the way I did this thing today, how was it? Was it good? Just have some quiet moments and quiet conversations with yourself, to speak to yourself. It really helps trust. So the next thing I learned this year was you need to build connections. I learned this one from just watching people online, not even actually one-on-one. I learned this online. I saw the importance of building connections online. Like, you actually need to build connections. I'm not saying I use connection because I don't even mean friendship. I mean connection, actual connections, because I think I saw a post somewhere that, oh, the connections we have today are like the connections that our children will claim to have. So I feel like we really need to build connection, really need to communicate more. Try to, like, right now I'm hoping to build in connection with creatives in Lagos. I'm hoping to build connection with that will eventually lead to friendship, probably or not. I just need to build connection with especially creative, because I'm trying to dive into that space. I'm trying to become a full-time content creator, lifestyle blogger, and all of that. So this year taught me that I really need to push myself to building connection with people. So I've already started trying my best. So I already started attending all these programs that are organized by creatives. I joined most of their Telegram groups on Telegram and all of that. So yes, I'm already making efforts to building connections with creatives. Lesson I learned this year was to become intentional about personal branding. Most of you might not really exactly understand what I mean, but if you're a creative, or if you have an idea of what it is to be a content creator and all of that, you understand fully what I mean. To be intentional about personal branding, because I feel like your brand is like your identity. Your brand is what you are known for. Your brand is what people see you and identify you with. So I feel like this year I learned a lot about personal branding, both for my business and both for myself. I'm working towards representing my brand at any time, both business wise, both content creating wise, and all of that. So this year taught me that I need to be intentional about my brand. And I think you all need to also be intentional about your brand. You mustn't even be a content creator. Your brand is more like your identity. Your brand is what people know you for. So you need to be intentional about that. If you're a doctor, your brand is that you're a doctor. So you need to be intentional about what people know you for. Are you the kind of doctor that never smiles, you know? Are you the kind of doctor that whatever it is you do, it is your brand? So you need to be intentional about it. You need to be intentional about the kind of notion you send out to people. The next lesson I learned this year was that failure is inevitable. Like, failure is inevitable, be it in school, be it in relationships, be it in business and all of that. Failure is inevitable. That you started a business and you failed doesn't mean that you have actually failed in the real sense. Because I see failure like more like a stepping stone to do something else, or a stepping stone to be better. For me, I feel like you only fail when you give up after failing. I don't know if that makes sense, but failure is not actually what people see it as. Failure is when, okay, I write an exam and I fail and I decide to give up. Giving up is failure for me, not even failing or getting F9 in the actual sense. Failure is inevitable. Failure is part of life. There's nobody or no business or no brand that will tell me that they didn't fail at the point. But what matters is how you're able to stand up and continue, pick yourself up and move on with your life. So failure is inevitable, be it in friendship, be it in business, be it in finance, be it in relationships. If you fail today, we have so many other days to win. So don't see failure as the end of the road. So this year taught me that failure is inevitable. You meet people, you lose people, you make money, you lose money, you know, you get fame, you lose fame, whatever it is you do. Just know that at those points of failure, what really matters at that moment is how you're able to pick yourself up and move on. So this year taught me that failure is inevitable, guys. It is inevitable. You can't even do without failing. Like, you have to fail at the point. But what matters is how you're able to pick yourself up and move on with your life. So the next lesson I learned this year was not to stress about things I don't have control over. And I must say that I learned this one the hard way, because there are certain times that you'll be faced with some kind of situations, and then you keep worrying yourself, you keep stressing yourself. I, for one, like, I kept worrying myself, I kept stressing myself, you know, bothering, pacing up and down, doing this and doing that, even when it was clear that I really could not solve that, like I didn't have control over. And this is more spiritual for me than physical, because I feel like my entire life has been a testimony. All the things I've been doing, all the things that have been coming my way and all of that, there are things that I can't exactly sit down to explain. So I know I'm conscious of the fact that this year made me conscious of the fact that I have God in my life. This year made me conscious of the fact that no matter how stubborn I am, no matter how I want to do things my way, no matter how I want to fight for what it is I think is best for me, if God has not said this is for you, it won't even get to me. Like, no matter how I fight, no matter how I pace around, no matter how I, so this year taught me that I shouldn't even stress about things that I don't have control over. This year taught me that God has been with me, and God is still with me, holding my hands, even if I feel like I'm so stubborn to the fact that when God is telling me, oh, don't do this, I'm still trying to look for possible ways to do it, and then he just comes and drag me by the hair and push me to wherever it is he wants to take me to. So this year taught me that I shouldn't stress much about things. Like, right now, I'm not even stressing. I won't even lie to you. I learned it the hard way that there's no way I'll be able to change some certain kind of situation. So I don't need to stress myself. I shouldn't be stressing myself over the things I don't have control over, because some things in this world are just very spiritual that we cannot exactly understand. So things like that, I really won't stress myself over it. I will just leave everything to God. So this particular year taught me a lot about not stressing myself about things I don't have control over. This year taught me that God has a plan for my life. I feel like this year is one of like the most important years of my life, this particular year, because a lot of things happened that made me self-aware. A lot of things happened that made me self-conscious. A lot of things happened that made me begin to see the purpose, or begin to see what God has called me to do here, even though it has not become as clear as I would love it to be. But then I'm in a better place now, because before this year I wasn't exactly really sure of what my purpose was, but this year came with a lot of purpose for me. This year came with a lot of directions in my life. So I'm in a better place right now, because I know that God's with me. I don't sound too spiritual, but I won't go like this year. I can't talk about my experiences this year without talking about God, because this year was a lot of things for me. There was a lot of life-changing experiences for me. Prior to this year, I wasn't exactly sure of the paths that God wanted me to go. I wasn't exactly sure of what He wanted me to do on earth here for Him. But as things began to unfold in this year, I started getting purpose, I started getting satisfaction, I started getting a lot of self-awareness. And trust me, like, that is like the best feeling. Because how do I explain this? You know, when you come to a foreign land and you don't know what you're doing, you're just in the middle of nowhere. That's how I've always felt. Oh, this year gave me direction. This year gave me purpose. I don't know what exactly it's at the end for me, but I know that I'm heading somewhere. I know that I have a direction. I know that I can clearly see the direction. So this year was a lot of things for me that I'm very grateful for. I'm very thankful for. I feel like I'm in a better place right now, psychologically, spiritually, emotionally, financially, hopefully, and otherwise. So yes. So I think I've touched a bit of all the most important lessons or that I've learned this year. I think I've touched a bit on all of them. And I want to use this medium to reach us. I want to use this medium to wish us a happy Christmas, Merry New Year, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for watching my videos throughout the year. I started this channel I think about 5 months ago, and we are at 330 subscribers, yes, if I'm not mistaken. I think I've done well for myself. Looking forward to the next year. I know that by this time next year I should be over 1k subscribers, and I should be already cashing out from this application. Thank you for watching my video, and God bless you. Amen.